The Russian war against Ukraine has taken a brutal toll, not just on soldiers, but on Christians who refuse to bow to Moscow's demands. Amid the devastation, a new documentary seeks to expose the truth about religious persecution in Ukraine.
The Christian role in this struggle is so critical.
We come to minister to them, to see them, to listen to them.
It's called A Faith Under Siege.
There's a lot of propaganda out there. Our thesis was you don't fight propaganda with more propaganda, you fight propaganda with truth. And the best truth is personal stories of folks that are there, that have lived this kind of stuff.
The documentary features firsthand accounts of pastors, aid workers, and believers who have been captured, tortured, or forced to flee because of their faith.
The folks that stayed in these war-torn areas to help and to minister to their folks and to others, to provide aid, were really doing some amazing stuff. When the Russians took over and found these evangelicals, they find them very threatening.
Russian propaganda often claims to uphold traditional values, although on the ground in Ukraine, evangelicals are targeted as threats to the Kremlin's control.
Evangelical Christians especially are very loyal to our leader, Jesus. Not so much political leaders and all these other folks that occupying powers want to see loyalty to, and so that's disruptive.
CBN News traveled to Ukraine to join former Green Beret Christian Hickey, who moved his family there in 2022 as a missionary to soldiers fighting and dying on the front lines.
We want to give the food hand with a Bible and pray. So we just don't want to give food. We actually want to give Jesus, and that food gives us the access and placement to have a conversation about Jesus.
This is the kind of horror that Russia is visiting on civilians who still live in this area. And their tactics are to continue to bomb like this until everything looks like these buildings over here, and everything is destroyed, and it's not even livable anymore. And then they'll move in and set up and start bombing the next village. This is how Russia saves Ukraine. They say that they're here to save Ukraine. This is what it looks like when they say that. A Faith Under Siege isn't just about exposing Russian war crimes. It's a call to action for Christians worldwide to pray and stand with their brothers and sisters in Ukraine.
God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. And so while we're in here, we hear the bombs and drones exploding out there. And ever I feel that I need to call out to God, I know when I call out to him, we serve a real and a righteous God, and he is a very present help in danger.
The film is getting exposure at the Museum of the Bible, and producers say they hope to shed light on the crisis and mobilize Christians. Our reporting on the ground matches the claims made in the film that evangelical Christians in Ukraine are facing targeted persecution at the hands of Russian forces. This is the Good News Church in Kramatorsk, and it's only about 10 miles from what is now the front lines of this war. Before the war started, they had about 700 people every week. And most of those people fled after the war started. But now they say they have a new church here because they have about 200 people every week who come that weren't members of the church before the war started, but came looking for help. And this is where they found it.
I think the biggest thing is really praying for the Christians that are caught in this conflict, and that they're able to serve as a model for our faith, both in staying strong, providing aid, being a beacon of light to their community, as well as just an end to this war, a just end to this war.
From Ukraine, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.